Hello everyone. Welcome to our project review. Today we will cover a project in the Core Central Region, also known as the CCR. This project is actually within District 9. District 9 comprising of Orchard, Kent Hill and the River Valley area.
So today we're going to cover Rivermodern, which is in River Valley area, and it's actually by the Singapore River.
So I think one of the concerns is within the last 8 to 12 months, there has been a lot of CCR projects coming up. So is there an oversupply situation? And will CCR projects lose money?
Okay. Yes, it's true that the CCR projects actually lose money. In fact, some of them also still underwater. So will Rivermodern is one of them, or it's going to be an exception?
What we will brief you today is a project overview. Then we will dive into what are the supply in the CCR region and the remaining supply. And at the end, we'll cover who should buy into Rivermodern
and who should not buy into Rivermodern.
Let's go! So the developer is actually Guaco Land. Guaco Land has successfully launched in recent times Lentor Mansion and Springleaf Residences. And within District 9, they have actually done Martin Modern. In terms of Rivermodern, what we are looking at is a commercial GFA of about 6 shops and a total unit of 455. The number of blocks is 2 and there is about 80% of car park lots. In terms of the unit mix, Guaco Land has actually prioritized 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom. And they have actually placed emphasis on the one that are more for livability, which are the 3 and 4-bedroom. At this juncture, the developers are also seeking approval for the unit mix and the floor plan. So what we have in the site plan, the developer has done a north-south orientation with a slight tilt in terms of the orientation in order to facilitate the river view.
So out of 13 stacks, actually only 5 stacks cannot see the river. The remaining stack can actually have the view of the river.
And in terms of the floor plan, what we have is a configuration that they have done such that it facilitates the river view. And so we have seen the 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom showflat units. The 2-bedroom, 689 square feet. I think they are doing a very traditional dumbbell layout. But what is special is that they have done a 3-meter wide living and dining area. And also, with the C-shaped kitchen, instead of a tuck-in kitchen, they are able to provide you with a proper dining area that is usually seen in 3-bedroom layouts onwards. For the 3-bedroom, what we have in the show flat is the 3-bedroom flex. So what it has, the flex is actually within the kitchen. So for people that like to host parties and everything, and this actually layout is not usually only seen from the 4-bedroom onwards, you have actually a very wide landscape kind of living dining, as well as the ability to remove the flex room to facilitate an island in your kitchen. Of course, if you do not host as much, you can use the flex room as, for example, a storage room. The only thing you lose out a little bit on for this layout is actually the kitchen can be a little bit squeezy, and also because the flex room has an aircon, so you may face a situation where, hey, my kitchen has an aircon. Okay. Then moving into the 4-bedroom. The 4th bedroom, they have done actually a very large floor plate of 1,004 plus square feet and 1,008 square feet. So actually, Guaco Land is actually targeting some of the resale competition that they are facing in this area. So take for example, Rivergate. They have a plenty of 4-bedroom layouts from 1,008 to 2,000 over square feet. And these units are actually going at about 5.7 to 6 million transacted. So if today I have a choice between Rivergate, yes, it's a freehold, and Rivermodern, which is much newer and have a better or more efficient layout, is that an option? So moving on to the new launch supply in River Valley. So we can see that Rivermodern has about 455 units, about 3-bedroom is about 210. So that brings us to a total supply of 2,900 over units. These projects are mainly in the River Valley area and Orchard area, which includes River Green, Promenade Peak, Zion Grand, Upper House at Orchard Boulevard, and the Robertson Opus. So of course, the Robertson Opus is 999 years and not a government land sale, so they are not subjected to the GFA Harmonisation effect. So in terms of the remaining supply in the area, we are looking at about 78% of the take-up rate, which is about 1,900 units out of the 2,400 units that have already been launched. And amongst them, River Green and Zion Grand are actually the more popular one. I think one of the key reasons is, one, there's efficient layout, and two, it's a quantum that matters.
Out of all the development, Robertson Opus only sold about 60%. Right? It could be due to the GFA harmonization effect, although it's a 999-year lease. Right? So, and the unit mix that's left over are the studios, or you call this 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and a 3-bedroom dual flex.
Okay, so let us dig deeper into why we say that actually the harmonization effect has an impact on the take-up rate. So let us have a look at the River Green 4-bedroom layout. This is actually 980 square feet. If today you tell me 980 square feet for 4-bedroom, usually the market is like, isn't it too small? Yeah. But I think what the River Green developer has done well is this. They have provided you with 4 bedrooms. No doubt, the common rooms are a little bit smaller at 7 and 8 square meter. However, they give you a kitchen that is enclosed as well as a bomb shelter, which you can double up as a storage. So the basic requirement that you need in a 4-bedroom today is functional. And that is something that is palatable for the market. And the quantum for this 4-bedroom started from 2.72 million. So this is actually very affordable. And if you compare it to, for example, Lentor Mansion, these 4 bedrooms actually transacted from 2.64 million. Both are harmonized, and of course, Lentor Mansion's floor plate is about 20% bigger.
So the question asked is, who wants the location more than the space? Whoever wants the location more than space will come over to River Green. If you want more space for the same price, you have to go RCR or OCR.
And that is also why the 4-bedroom for River Green was taken up on launch day itself.
Yeah, so actually the buyer's behavior, right, is they don't mind a smaller size for a better location.
Diving deeper into the remaining supply based on bedroom type, we see that the popular take-up rates are from the 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, as well as the 4-bedroom. And if we look at it, this is also why Guaco Land specifically emphasized on the 2, 3, and 4-bedroom, which is to meet the market needs. And what they have done is they are providing you with 6 different sizes of the 3-bedroom to actually meet the different family requirements and budget.
So why is that so?
So if we look deeper into the 3-bedroom, which is 61 units, what we have is 29 units in Robertson Opus, 17 units in Promenade Peak, 12 units in Zion Grand, as well as 3 units in River Green.
So what is the price range like?
So in terms of the price range, we are looking at the 818 square feet, 2.74 million for Zion Grand. And this is from the 50th story onwards. And the price range is up to 4 million in Promenade Peak, the 1163 square feet, 62nd story. So in terms of the price range, this is what we are looking at.
So basically you are saying that, look, from 2.7 to 4 million, these are the acceptable 3-bedroom pricing.
If we look at the project that is not highlighted, which is Upper House at Orchard Boulevard, their 3-bedroom, 1012 square feet has all been snapped up on launch day itself. And actually the price range for this is between 3.2 to 3.8 million. So this price range is actually accepted and transacted in this area.
Now, out of the 61 units left, 29 of them are in Robertson Opus. And these 29 units are 3-bedroom dual flex, which is uncommon in the current market.
In fact, the traditional 980 3-bedroom flexi is already fully sold because this is traditional and people are willing to accept a kitchen, proper living dining, as well as proper bedroom size. So there is a comparison, and that is why we say that traditional layouts still are the popular ones. And then as we go on to Upper House at Orchard Boulevard, you see the 3-bedroom which we were talking about, the traditional 1012 square feet, proper kitchen with a bomb shelter, as well as 3 proper bedrooms. So this kind of layout has been accepted and at 3.2 to 3.8 million range.
And it stepped up during the launch day.
One of the reasons why the take-up rates have been so well is because of the reduced gap between the CCR and RCR per square foot. So if you see 10, 11 years back in 2015, the price gap between CCR and RCR was 32%. But in recent years, we are looking at a reduced gap of 10%. So for anybody looking and seeing what options there are, they are able to actually go from RCR to CCR, which can be also more convenient and with more amenities available. And one of the interesting areas is actually River Valley, where most of the people prefer. So let us give you an example. This is Woodleigh Residences. It's an integrated project within the RCR region. And if we compare, the 850 square feet has already sold at 2.3 million. And the bigger size unit, 11119 square feet, has already sold at 3.08 million. So for a buyer today, looking at a quantum of about 3 million, let's take the average of Woodleigh Residences transaction, about 2.7 million, to go in and buy in at 3 over million for a CCR project, harmonized project. They are able to top up a little bit more to get into today.
So will CCR lose money? Now, I'm going to give you 3 examples. Scott Square, that's TOP. It's a freehold development that's actually TOP in 2011. New Futura, freehold TOP in 2017. And Martin Modern, which is the 99 years, and TOP in 2021. So this is the resale transaction PSF, okay, over the years from 2007. If you look at it, this is 1504 square feet for the resale. But what was Scott Square's launching price? 4003, which is about 1.5 times above the resale market, right? So Scott Square have never been able to recover after almost 20 years. Now, the next one that we are looking in is New Futura, which is a freehold project that was launched in 2018. So at that point, the resale market is trading at 2300 PSF. So the developer actually launched at the average of 3435 PSF. So if you look carefully, from 2018 all the way to 2022, they actually appreciated until 4,400 PSF. Now, what happened is subsequently, it actually depreciated all the way down to 2,973. Question is, why?
So I think if we look at it, 2023, the government introduced ABSD, and it was 60% for foreigners. Okay, and for New Futura, this is actually majority foreigners. And for such large floor plate, what we are looking at in terms of quantum is 10 to 12 million. And what it means, if it's locals looking at something to buy, they have the option to actually go into a District 9 or District 10 semi-detached or even a detached at that price range. And hence, the take-up rate wasn't as high, and that resulted in New Futura coming down towards the resale transaction price. Now we move on to Martin Modern. Martin Modern was launched in 2017 by the same developer, Guaco Land. Guaco Land launched it at 12% premium from the resale transaction price. And the premium continued to slowly appreciate across the years, holding it at 19%. So if the quantum that we are looking at Martin Modern is similar to what we have in rivermodern, there is also an opportunity. Now we go into the price matrix of rivermodern. This is the estimated size of the 2 to 4 bedrooms. So if we look at River Green, whose land bid was 1325 per plot ratio, and so at an average of 3,100 per square foot, rivermodern bought at 1420. So if we assume $100 more, we expect rivermodern to sell at an average of 3,200 per square foot. So that will bring us to about the 2.5 to 3.5 million range for the 3 bedrooms. So if we compare this to the project that we just mentioned at Martin Modern, if we are looking at the 3,002 range, the 900 square feet for rivermodern will be about 2.88 million. And if we look at Martin Modern, 1012 square feet already transacting between 2.8 to 3 million. So as a resale buyer today, is there an option to consider either Martin Modern or River Modern? Then the question is, what if I miss River Modern today?
Okay, we are just going to highlight 3 plots of land that is in CCR, right? So the first one, I'm going to bring you to District 11, Dunyan Road GLS, which was bidded at 1410 PSF, okay, where River Modern is 1420. This is further, although it's still a CCR, but it's further away from the city. Okay, so we're expecting them to sell around the same price as River Modern, right? The next one, we go to Holland Link GLS. All right, the developer bought it at 1432, which is almost the same as 1420. But this site is actually pretty far away from King Albert Park MRT as compared to River Modern, which is 1 minute to the Great World City MRT.
In fact, some would say that Holland Link is actually very ulu lah.
Yes.
And the fact is, they may not be as comfortable in terms of the transportation because the walk is either down the hill or up the hill.
Right, and they have another 7 more plots to sell in Holland Link.
So that will mean that the first mover advantage will also mean that you need to suffer a little bit on the construction.
Yes, I agree with that. So the other one, which is the Newton government land sale, this is a perfect location. This is the District 10. In fact, it's in between the North-South MRT station and the Newton Downtown MRT station. But it was bidded at 1820. So we are expecting it to sell 3,006 to 3,007, right? As compared to River Modern, we are expecting it to sell between 2,008 to 3,005.
No doubt it's an interchange. However, you will need to pay about at least 400 per square feet more per unit. So for 1,000 square feet, 3-bedroom, you're looking at 400 over 1,000 more. So these are the upcoming sales, and it depends on what you're looking for and what you see as convenience.
So who should not buy into River Modern?
So the people that are looking to buy like a 2-bedroom and planning to hold it in the short term, you guys should not buy into River Modern, because for the 2-bedroom, for example, or even the smaller 3-bedroom, you need to hold a longer period. For example, 8 to 10 years, which is the mid to long term kind of holding period. This is to generate the required rental yield to generate income from the property. This is because the rental yield in River Valley is actually one of the highest, and you are able to generate about 6,000 to 7,000 for a 2-bedroom, and this is already transacted in the River Valley area for the 2-bedrooms. So who should buy into River Modern?
So if you look at the supply and demand numbers, right, only 61 units of 3-bedroom left in the entire zone. And Guaco actually provide 46% of the total unit mix in River Modern. So if I have the budget of between 2.5 to 4 million, I will look into 3-bedroom, especially those with river view.
Another point to consider with the GFA harmonization effect, if you are looking for own stay, this is an opportunity because you have the ability to move either from an OCR or RCR 3 or 4-bedroom to a harmonized project with pretty efficient layout in River Modern. And in terms of convenience, I don't think anyone will complain for River Valley. So another group that should consider is actually because of the GFA harmonization effect, the developer has created smaller floor plates. So the 3-bedroom, you're looking at 800 to 1,000 plus square feet. The 4-bedroom at 1,100 to 1,400 square feet. So the quantum is actually comfortable. So for sellers that are looking to exit from their OCR or RCR units, you can consider looking into this area. And of course, nobody will complain about the convenience of River Valley. So if you want to find out more about River Modern or even the floor plan, feel free to reach out to us in the WhatsApp below. We also do one-to-one consultation if you're keen. If you like our content, do like, share, and subscribe. Bye.